Hey everyone. So today we're going to have a look at how you can use Auralia to create a jazz transcription exercise. We're going to use the first 4 bars of a great saxophone solo by Lester Young on the tune Boogie Woogie. Let's start off by having a look at how the final question will appear for students. So once I've submitted my answer, I think it's some really useful feedback. I can play back the YouTube clip. I can see notation of the correct answer, complete with chord symbols in this case. And I can also see notation of my answer and where things went a little astray. Let's have a look now at how this question is constructed. So I'm now in the Auralia app and I can go into the library. In here, I can find all my media. And straight away here, I can see the question that we have created here. I can preview it again using this little preview button in the top right if I need to. So to create this question, I started with a few bits of media. So the first one was the YouTube link, and I added that simply by coming up to the plus button here, import, selecting import YouTube video, and then entering the URL in there. Once I've done that, I can then simply right-click on there and go New Extract. And then that allows me to select a time range within that YouTube video to use for playback. And that ended up looking a little like this. So you can see here I have sliders where I can define the time range for this particular clip. So the other media item that I have here is, of course, the notation. So this was something I had created previously in Sibelius, and I'd transcribed first 12 bars of the solo, which is a 12-bar blues form. Then I simply imported that again under the plus icon, and then right-clicked on it to create my extract, which was just going to include the first 4 bars. So that ends up looking like this. Just by dragging the slider here, I was able to define bars 1 through to the end of bar 5. And if I need to preview that, again, I can right click and go view notation. So the next step is to create the actual question, and you can do that over on the right. Simply click plus, give your question a name, add some instructions for the question. Now, for this particular question, we need to choose notation and notate as our question type. And then we can simply select the notation that we created. So there's our 4-bar excerpt from the larger 1-chorus solo notation. Okay, so for this question, we can choose what we would like to show and hide for the question itself. So I'm going to hide the chord symbols to begin with. I want the student to interact with this top part here. So I'm going to make that editable by clicking on it. And I'm going to start by clicking at the very start of the bar here, which will hide all elements. So any of the elements that are highlighted now will be hidden from the student. And then I can come back in and choose which notes are given. I'm going to hide the other parts here. And the other thing I'm going to hide is the part labels, which aren't that relevant for this question type. Now note here that if you wanted to provide more of the notation for the student in the question, say you deem this bar to be quite tricky for your students, you could simply turn those note values back on and they will be then revealed to the student when the question first appears. I'm going to leave them all off for now. One other quick tip is I'm just going to set this to add single notes only, which will prevent the student from accidentally entering chords. I'm going to leave this question to be replaced with rests, but note you can replace any of the highlighted values with blanks if you prefer. Okay, so I think we're ready to go now with that notation setup. Down here, I do have to choose what I'd like to use for playback. Currently, it's using notation file, but we actually want to use a YouTube video. So again, I select video there and then the select button, and I can come in here and I can choose the exact excerpt that I'd like to play. Now, we are going to provide a starting pitch for this particular excerpt, just to give the students a reference point. And I can come in and select chord, and this particular blues happens to be in the key of C. And finally, I just need to check that the notation that's being assessed against matches what I've set up. And you can see here that has automatically been passed through. So I've got a tick next to the notation content that I'd like to be assessed. And if I like, I can turn on other bits of the notation as well, just to provide the student with additional feedback and information. Okay, so now we're all ready to go. Our question selected on the right here, and we can preview it. So you can create additional questions really quickly and easily by following that exact same process and simply using the existing media that you have in the library and creating extra excerpts from within that. I hope that was useful. Let us know how you go with creating your own jazz transcription exercises. And as always, feel free to like, subscribe, and comment. Take care. Hopefully see you soon.